Today, many families are going to be heading out to attend Memorial Day parades and ceremonies all across the Metro Detroit area, a day to reflect on what this day truly means and the sacrifices made for our country.
Yeah, and a new documentary is shining a light on local high school students learning lessons about wartime.
Mr. Sales. Yeah. My grandfather's buried here. He was a paratrooper in the Korean War. Are you able to find him?
Yeah. And I want you to take time to reflect on the sacrifice that these veterans have made for their country.
Thanks for always being there for me, man.
This is a powerful documentary, and it also shows students visiting the Great Lakes National Cemetery as the younger generation is learning and reflecting on the contributions of our American heroes, sometimes members of their own family.
Yeah, just a beautiful tribute when you think about it. And Local 4's J. Scott Smith is in Plymouth this morning, where some of the students in the documentary will be walking in the Memorial Day parade.
Yes, good morning, everybody. And they're going to be a part of this documentary, which is, of course, a salute to our World War II generation. And I'm joined right now by both the teacher, who is a part of the project at Canton High School. This is Christopher Belch, and also Plymouth High School student Jack Haas. I'm going to start with Christopher. And so tell us a little bit about how this project came together and what's been like working with this documentary.
The project came together because partly my grandfather, John Gonsier, he served in World War II, and he would always tell me stories about the war that were vastly different than anything that I ever read in a history book. And so I always wanted my students to have that experience. So started doing the Michigan history thing, started putting together a project where students could research things from a much more personal point of view. And eventually we found out Mark was doing kind of the same thing for the film, and he got in contact with our district, got in contact with me, and the rest is history.
And Jack, you actually have joined, as you join us today, you have a picture of U.S. Army soldier Hank Gardner. Tell us what you've learned about Hank.
So you've always heard stories about the greatest generation. So when I thought it was really interesting taking this project into kind of a deep dive into veterans as a whole, because you always hear stories about how veterans really made our country into what it is today, which they did. And so I thought it was really important to learn focus on the individual experiences of a veteran. And I think that's one thing the history books miss, is that you don't necessarily see the individual aspects of the human aspects, the different sides of who he was and who many veterans were when they were fighting in World War II. And I thought it was very valuable experiencing and learning that this is so much more deeper than just a soldier. It's a human being, and they've got a story and a life and so many more things that you can look into.
And you've even gotten a chance to meet one of Hank's family members, too.
Yes, I've met Beth. She's wonderful. She always told me stories about her father and how wonderful he was as a human being. And he was a very humble man, very, very good man, too. She always said that he was a wonderful father, one of the best fathers you could have ever asked for. So it was really, really enlightening to learn about him.
And Christopher, this whole project has given kids like Jack a chance to really get to understand what the sacrifices that were made by these soldiers. When you think about all the work that's been done to put this together, how were you feeling knowing that today to be a part of the parade and knowing that this documentary is going to feature a lot of your kids?
It is so rewarding. I mean, to tell the stories of the greatest generation. And, you know, as a teacher, you always hope your students are going to get it. You always hope that they're going to make that deep connection about how ordinary people do extraordinary things. And, you know, sometimes you wonder, do they get it? Are they getting it? And at the end of this project, as I've seen the students progress from day one when it was just a project on a sheet of paper to the last day when they were giving their presentations and they're meeting with family members and the emotions and the feelings, it certainly was everything that a teacher could dream of with a student project.
So these students are going to be marching in this parade that gets going this morning at 9 a.m. out here in Plymouth. It's going to feature these students from Plymouth and Canton High Schools honoring vets such as Hank and so many others. We are live in Plymouth. I'm J. Scott Smith for Local 4.